Hi, I'm David Swenson, and we're going to talk a little bit today, I guess, about Ashtanga Yoga. I grew up in Texas and actually started yoga when I was 13 years old. And that was a bit odd because in Texas, not many people were doing yoga. So the question arises, well, how did you get into yoga then? And at 13, my older brother, Doug, who was 5 years older, so he was 18, he had gotten some yoga books. He got me interested in these things, and there were no yoga studios that we could find, so we just had a handful of books. First book we ever had was called Yoga, Youth, and Reincarnation by Jess Stern. Had a handful of postures. Then we found Swami Satchidananda's Integral Yoga. We had B.K.S. Iyengar's Light on Yoga eventually came out. We would just go to the park at the end of the street and practice. We would do the best we could with books and explanation and photos. And being that it was Texas and we were growing our hair long at the time, people called the police on us. We were in the park doing yoga, and police cars came zooming up, pulled their guns out. "What are you boys doing out here?" "We're breathing and stretching, please don't shoot." And it was bizarre. They said, well, the neighbors called and said you were doing some kind of devil worship, because they saw us with our long hair, under trees doing these funny movements, and it was so odd to them, they didn't know what to think. So they figured we might be worshiping the devil, so it was odd at the time. In 1973, when I was in Southern California at the age of 16, I met David Williams and Nancy Gilgoff, and they were my first Ashtanga teachers. David Williams and Norman Allen were the first two Americans to do Ashtanga. They found Pattabhi Jois when they were traveling around India looking for the meaning of life, and they ended up seeing Manju Jois, Pattabhi Jois's son, doing a yoga demonstration in an ashram, and that was the connection to Mysore. Shortly after that is when I met David in Southern California, and Ashtanga just amazed me. My first class, I had never seen anything like it, and I remember it so vividly. It was a room that was not heated, so it was quite cold in the mornings, and my friend brought me to this class. He said, "Wow, you're into yoga, you have to check this out." And we go in, and it felt as though the walls were breathing. There was this resonant sound of, and people were flowing and moving in a way I had never seen. And the early morning sun coming through the light was catching their body in such a way that I could see steam rising from their body. I was like, wow, what is this? And then I met David and Nancy, and they took me through 3 sun salutation A, 3B, the final 3 postures, and then rest. And that's all I could do, but I felt some energy. I felt something I'd never felt. So that was my first connection to Ashtanga.